Politics is not about launches, it's a numbers game. Nominations open and close today. The one person we're really still waiting to hear from is Priti Patel, whether the Home Secretary will run or not. Though that number of 11 candidates has now fallen to 10, as you said. Grant Shapps has pulled out of the race, the Transport Secretary supporting Rishi Sunak. So let's have a brief look at those numbers. At the moment, you have to remember there's a threshold of 20. You need the backing of 20 MPs just to get on the ballot for tomorrow for the first round of this contest. Well, at the moment, we know that Rishi has got 45 MPs backing him, so he is well and truly on that first round. And in theory, would get into the second round, given the fact that the threshold is 30 to get into Thursday's ballot. The only other two people, though, at the moment who have met that are Penny Mordaunt, who's got the backing of 27 MPs, including in the last few minutes David Davis, the former Brexit Secretary, and Tom Tugendhat, who has got the backing of 22, I think, MPs. As for everyone else, they've not quite reached that yet, though some aren't far away. Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, I think is 19, and Kemi Badenoch has got around 17, I think, so they're pretty close. The question is, will others drop out today as it becomes pretty clear to them that they're not going to be able to fight tomorrow? I mean, not least of all, Raymond Christie, who thus far has got the backing of himself.
And of course, Darren, it's not the public who will choose the next Prime Minister because it's a midterm. It is Conservative Party members, 100,000 or so of them. What do we know about what they're thinking in terms of preference?
Yeah, really fascinating this, isn't it? We got the timetable yesterday from Graham Brady. The idea is that this stage, if you like, of the selection process will come to an end potentially as early as next Monday, but more probably likely, I would suspect, in the middle of next week. And around the same time, Boris Johnson will be having his last Prime Minister's Question Time. Why do I say that? Because when Parliament becomes back in after its summer holidays on the 5th of September, that is when the announcement of the new Conservative leader and thus the new Prime Minister will be made, September 5th. In between that, we're going to see a whole load, a summer really, of hustings and political debates and TV debates between the final two candidates. Who are they backing at the moment? Well, interesting at the moment, actually, in the leads is Penny Mordaunt, followed by Kemi Badenoch. Must be said, two of the lesser known names, certainly people who've not been in cabinet recently. Kemi Badenoch's not served in cabinet at all. Rishi Sunak is in third place, so it does seem that amongst the membership they do want to see, it seems at least for the top two, names that have not necessarily been that closely associated with this government, certainly with this cabinet, certainly with Boris Johnson. But things do change, don't they? And that's the really fascinating, unpredictable bit of all of this, because in the end, over the next 10 days or so, it's all going to be about who drops out, where do their supporters go, who gets to certain stages of that. And we could be surprised by all of that. We don't know who's going to end up, frankly, in the final two. And then these campaigns do change people's minds too, that the more they see potentially some of these candidates they're not very familiar with, the Conservative membership, that may well massively influence who in the end they pick. So it is entirely unpredictable. It is not something I would want to place a bet on, or indeed even make a prediction to you about. But we are going to get to the stage, I think, later on today where a bit of that field will probably thin out a little bit further as it becomes clear to those candidates at the bottom end of the scale that they're not going to reach that number, that magic number of 20 to get on tomorrow's ballot. And the big question is, who will they back? Because that could prove quite crucial.